Hey guys, hope you are having a nice day. I just looked at the clock and I still feel like my day did not even start properly.
Same here. I woke up early, I had plans, but somehow nothing went the way I thought. It felt slow and fast at the same time.
Yeah, that happens a lot. By the way, I am Jack and I am here with Sarah, and you're listening to Random English Podcast. We just talk in simple English so you can listen, relax, and slowly improve.
Yes, just normal conversation. No pressure, no hard words, just two people talking about daily life.
So today I have to tell you something. When I stepped outside in the morning, I honestly stopped at the door for a second.
Why? What happened?
The wind was so strong, I felt like it was pushing me back inside. I almost said, okay, fine, I am not going out today.
That sounds like Chicago. The weather here does not ask for permission. It just does whatever it wants.
Exactly. Yesterday was so calm, I even thought, maybe this week will be easy. But no, today the weather said, let me surprise you.
You trusted the weather in Chicago? That is your first mistake.
I know, I know. I even checked the weather app before leaving. It said mild weather. I don't know what kind of mild that was.
Maybe the app lives in a different city, because outside, it felt like the wind was trying to start a fight with everyone.
I saw one guy holding his coffee, and the wind almost took the cup from his hand. He looked so confused, like he was thinking, what did I do wrong today?
That is actually funny, but also a little sad. Imagine waiting for your coffee and then the weather says, no, not today.
Yeah, Chicago weather has attitude. It does not care about your plans.
And the worst part is choosing clothes. In the morning, you wear a jacket, and by afternoon, you feel too hot.
That happened to me today. I wore a hoodie, and later I was walking like I made a big life mistake.
At least you did not wear something light. I saw a girl in just a t-shirt, and she looked so cold. I wanted to give her my jacket.
See, this is the problem. You never know what to wear here. You just guess and hope for the best.
Exactly. And even when you guess, you are still wrong most of the time.
So true. Chicago weather is like a surprise test. You are never ready and you never get full marks.
That is a perfect way to say it. And every day feels different. One day it is sunny, next day it is windy, and sometimes both on the same day.
Yeah, today was like that. I saw the sun, but I could not feel it because of the wind.
Same here. It looked nice, but it did not feel nice at all. That is the confusing part.
And people still go out like nothing is happening. I saw people walking fast, holding their bags, trying to protect their hair.
Hair is the biggest problem in this weather. You fix it at home, and outside it becomes a different style.
Yeah, the wind gives you a free new hairstyle. Not always a good one, though.
Mostly not a good one.
So, yeah, today was one of those days when the weather reminds you that you are not in control.
That is true. You can plan your day, but you cannot plan the weather here.
And I think that is what makes it interesting, too. It is annoying, but also a little fun.
Yes, because every day feels different. You never get bored of the same weather.
That is a good point. Even if it is a little crazy, at least it is not boring.
Exactly. And honestly, now I always check outside before I decide what to wear. I do not trust the weather app anymore.
Same. I open the door first, then I decide my clothes. That feels more accurate.
That is the real Chicago weather report.
Yes, your own eyes are better than any app here.
So true.
You know what is funny? I thought today would stay like this all day. Just windy and a little cold. But in the afternoon, it suddenly changed. And I was like, okay, what is happening now? Because the sun came out properly, and for a few minutes, it actually felt warm.
Yes, I noticed that too. And that is what confuses me the most about Chicago weather. Because you start your day thinking one thing, and then later it becomes something completely different, and you just keep adjusting again and again.
Exactly. And I feel like my whole day depends on weather sometimes. Because if it is too cold or too windy, I just don't feel like going out. I just want to stay inside and do nothing.
Same here. Like today morning, I had a plan to go for a walk. I was feeling motivated. But when I opened the door and felt that strong wind, I slowly closed it again and said, okay, maybe tomorrow.
That maybe tomorrow never comes. We both know that.
Yes, that is true. Tomorrow comes with another surprise weather and another excuse.
And then we sit inside and blame the weather like it is the reason for everything.
Well, sometimes it really is the reason. I mean, when your face feels frozen and your eyes are watering because of the wind, you don't feel like doing anything productive.
That is true. Today the wind was so strong at one point that I had to stop walking and turn my face away. I felt like if I keep going straight, I might just fly away.
I would actually pay to see that. Jack flying in Chicago wind sounds like a movie scene.
Very funny. I am sure I would not look cool at all. I would probably be shouting and trying to hold my jacket.
Everyone would be doing the same. No one looks cool in that kind of wind. Everyone is just trying to survive.
And the sound of the wind. Did you notice that? It was so loud, like it was talking to us, like saying, "You are not in control today."
Yes, and it makes everything feel more intense. Even simple things like walking or crossing the road feel like a small challenge.
I also saw people running to catch the bus, and the wind was just making it harder for them. Their clothes moving, their hair all over the place. It looked stressful and funny at the same time.
That is Chicago life. You struggle, but you also laugh at the situation. Because if you don't laugh, you will just feel annoyed all the time.
That is actually a good mindset. Just accept the weather and enjoy the moment, even if it is a little crazy.
Yes, and sometimes these small things become good memories later. Like, we talk about it and laugh. But at that moment, we were like, why is this happening?
Exactly. Like today, I was holding my phone and checking something, and suddenly the wind pushed my hand and I almost dropped it. I got so scared for a second.
Oh no, that is dangerous. Chicago wind does not care about your phone or your feelings.
Yes, it just comes and does its job. No warning, no sorry.
And still, people here are used to it. Like, they just keep moving. They don't stop. They don't complain too much. They just continue their day.
That is something I respect, actually. People adjust quickly, even when the weather is not perfect.
Yes, because if you wait for perfect weather in Chicago, you will wait forever.
That is so true. There is always something, either wind or cold or rain or sudden heat.
And sometimes all of them in 1 week.
Or in one day.
That is even worse.
But also kind of interesting, because every day feels different. You never feel like it is the same routine again and again.
Yes, it keeps life a little unpredictable. And maybe that is not always bad.
I agree. Even though we complain, I think we would get bored if the weather was always the same.
Exactly. A little chaos is okay. It makes things more real.
You know, sometimes I think the weather here actually changes people's mood more than we realize. Because on a calm, sunny day, I feel more active and positive. But on a cold, windy day like today, I just want to slow down and stay quiet.
That is very true. Weather has a strong effect on how we feel. And I notice it in small things. Like on sunny days, people smile more. They walk slowly. They talk more. But on windy or cold days, everyone looks serious and just wants to reach home quickly.
Yes, I saw that today. People were not really talking much outside. Everyone was walking fast, holding their jackets, and looking down, like they just wanted to finish their work and go inside.
Exactly. And even simple things like going to a cafe feel different. On a cold day, it feels more cozy, like you actually enjoy sitting inside with a warm drink, while outside, everything feels a little harsh.
That is my favorite part, honestly. When the weather is cold and you go inside somewhere warm, it feels so comfortable, like you earned that moment after facing the wind outside.
Yes, it feels like a reward, and suddenly your mood becomes better again, just because you are warm and relaxed.
I actually did that today. I went into a small cafe after walking in the wind, and the moment I sat down, I felt like, okay, now life is good again.
That is such a simple happiness, but it feels really strong in moments like that. And I think weather helps us notice these small good moments more.
That is a nice way to look at it. Instead of only complaining, we can also enjoy what comes with it, like warm coffee, quiet places, and that calm feeling inside.
Yes, because if everything was always perfect, we would not feel these small joys so deeply.
True. And another thing I noticed is how people prepare differently for weather here. Like some people always carry extra layers. They are ready for anything.
Yes, those people are smart. I am not one of them. I usually just hope for the best and then regret it later.
Same here. I always think it will be fine, and then I step outside and realize I made the wrong choice again.
It is like we never learn, even after so many days of the same problem.
Maybe we trust the weather too much, even though it has already shown us that it cannot be trusted.
Exactly. Chicago weather has broken our trust many times, but we still go back and believe it again.
That sounds like a bad relationship.
Yes, but we cannot leave this one.
That is true. We just have to adjust and keep going.
And honestly, I think people here become stronger because of this. They learn to deal with change. They learn to stay calm even when things are not perfect.
That is a really good point. Weather teaches patience in a strange way.
Yes, and also flexibility, because plans change all the time, and you just learn to go with the flow.
Like today, I had a plan to spend more time outside, but I changed it and did something indoors, and it still turned out to be a good day.
Exactly. Sometimes changing plans is not a bad thing. It just takes you in a different direction.
And maybe that is what makes each day interesting, even if it starts with strong wind and confusion.
Yes, you just never know how the day will end, and that keeps things a little exciting.
I agree. Even though we complain about the weather, it gives us stories to talk about.
And today's story was definitely about wind.
A lot of wind.
Too much wind.
But still a memorable day.
Yeah, definitely a memorable day. And I feel like this is what makes living in a place like Chicago a little special, because every day gives you something new to talk about, even if it is just the weather acting crazy again.
That is true. And I think people here are used to it now. Like, they don't expect perfect weather anymore. They just take the day as it comes and adjust their plans without thinking too much.
Yes, and maybe that is a good habit to have. Not just for weather, but for life also. Because things don't always go the way we want, and we still have to move forward.
Exactly. And sometimes small changes like this teach us bigger lessons, like being patient, being flexible, and not getting upset over things we cannot control.
That is a deep thought for a weather conversation. I like it.
Well, weather can make you think a lot when it keeps surprising you every day.
That is true. And honestly, after today, I feel like I will never fully trust the weather again. But I will still check the app tomorrow morning.
Of course you will. We all do that, even though we know it might not be correct.
It is like a habit now. Check the app, step outside, and then realize the truth.
Yes, the real weather report starts when you open the door.
Exactly. And I think that is the best advice we can give today. Don't trust the weather too much. Just be ready for anything.
And maybe carry an extra layer, just in case, because you never know what is coming next.
That is a smart tip. I should start following that too.
You should. It will save you from a lot of regret.
All right, so before we end, we want to hear from you.
Yes, tell us about your place. What is the weather like where you live right now?
Is it sunny, rainy, cold, or something completely different?
And do you also feel confused like us sometimes? Or is your weather more simple?
Write in the comments. We really enjoy reading what you share.
Yes, your experiences make these conversations more fun for us.
All right, we will see you again soon with another simple conversation.
Take care, stay comfortable, and be ready for your weather.
Bye, guys.